What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode on EI Entertainment Studios. So this video is going to be based upon the debate discussion on Shin Godzilla against the Kraken from the 2010s adaptation from Clash of Titans. So this was the highly requested one from the poll. So without further ado, let's get started. But before we actually do, let's go ahead and introduce our very special guests. Go ahead and introduce yourselves, guys.
Hey guys, Payvom here.
And Deagle Rands.
Alright, so what we'll do is, first of all, we'll start off with the Kraken, a quick backstory, and then we'll go to advantages, disadvantages, and then we'll move on to Shin Godzilla. So with Deagle Rands, could you start us off with the Kraken?
Alright, now the Kraken we're going to be using is the one from the 2010 movie Clash of the Titans. Alright, so the Kraken is basically from Greek mythology. It is a sea monster of tremendous size and power. It was born from the two titans, who were both sea entities, Oceanus and Ceto. Its tentacles were able to destroy ships and bring down entire cities. And Ms. Favomis, I believe you also have something to add?
Yes, and the Kraken is also known for killing titans. And what titans are they're the ones who kill gods. So that means if the Kraken could kill a titan, then doesn't that mean it could also theoretically kill a god, also known as Shin Godzilla?
Theoretically, it's possible, but we'll get there when Shin Godzilla's time. Deagle Rands, go ahead and talk about the advantages that the Kraken has.
Alright, now as Payvamis said, the Kraken itself was created to aid the gods in killing titans. Basically in this movie, he was basically now he was held back for many years, like centuries almost, by the god of the underworld, Hades, and he was released by Zeus. But overall, but that actually shows that a king of gods fears this monster this much. He was able to kill off the father of gods. Now, Titans were theoretically a level above a god, but somewhere around their same height of power and strength. But the Kraken was still able to slay them easily, and although the Kraken itself doesn't have any like elemental or like powers like that, the Kraken itself has such strength and physical attributes that, yeah, he could like basically take down a Titan easily. And Titans were basically almost the size of, what, like 10 mountains stacked on top of each other? Yeah.
Alright, so based on that, as we saw the advantages, what would you say that would be disadvantages?
Alright, now the classic thing would be from the Clash of Titans movie would be that the Kraken, the only thing that was ever able to kill the Kraken was Medusa's head, basically freezing it into a statue. But the Kraken does also have a few weaknesses, like although its outer layer is actually very, very hard and well armored itself, the Kraken itself still can get physically injured if you do hit like his points that are exposed. And because like he's aquatic and he's an aquatic entity, so his flesh would somewhat be very, I guess soft, but also slick as well. So if you do manage to hit him in that area, then yeah, he will basically get hurt. But it will take a lot of amount of force to do so.
So like, what do you think, like specifically against Shin Godzilla, what do you think is the biggest disadvantage for the Kraken?
Against Shin Godzilla, alright, so both of them, both Shin Godzilla and the Kraken, have strong armor. Now, I believe the one, well, to Shin Godzilla, he would still not be able to feel that much pain. Now, the one thing I'm unaware of currently, but I do feel like this would be the one disadvantage. Shin Godzilla's atomic breath could possibly harm the Kraken, because again, we actually went over this in Kratos. Greek mythology, all their powers and magics are all based on elements, and well, because Shin Godzilla uses more of radiation as his power. We don't know, like possibly, just maybe the Kraken does have that weakness to the powers of radiation. We don't know. Like he was always against just some elemental-based monsters. He was never actually based an atomic level monster.
Hmm.
Who knows? His like I highly doubt his armor would be able to protect against Shin Godzilla.
Now,
Yeah.
Shin Godzilla stands at approximately 118.5 meters tall. Do you know exactly how big the Kraken would be?
The Kraken himself would actually stand, I believe, if I remember this correctly, the Kraken is the size of 3 statues of liberties stacked on top of each other.
Hmm. I don't think that's not big enough. That's not big as Shin. No, there's no way that's big. No, there's no way it's big as Shin.
Yeah, it's the more definitely it's not as big as Shin, but
It has some
one
size.
thing that the yeah size Shin has, but the one thing that the Kraken has, his tentacles and his speed. He was a very, very fast monster, even though he had like massive size. He was actually a lot more smarter, and he was actually the one thing he actually did gain from both the Titans he was born from and the gods themselves. He is actually trained to fight. Shin Godzilla, as far as I know, Shin Godzilla has never been trained to fight at all.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry to interrupt you guys, but just a quick reminder: the Statue of Liberty is 93 meters. So if it's 3 times the size, that means the Kraken is 279 meters tall.
Oh. Okay, I take it back. Okay, then he is bigger than Shin. Much bigger, almost double the size of Shin. Okay, that's gonna be a huge factor into this. Okay, thank you, Mr. Payvamas, for that information. We didn't do our homework. Okay, okay now let's move on to Shin. Now, now for Shin, this is actually an interesting fight because now I'm not gonna discuss any of the factors for Shin Godzilla on land because there is no way this fight is gonna take place on land. So what I want to do is let's focus on the more aquatic type version of Shin Godzilla. Now the problem is that we haven't seen Shin Godzilla that much action in the water, so I'll use some references from more other Godzillas. I'm sure the biological ways that Godzilla does live in water is Shin Godzilla actually does live is the same as other Godzillas, so we'll build it up from that. So first of all, we both know that, or all 3 of us know that Shin Godzilla himself is actually an aquatic creature, which gives it a more fair fight. Now, I have no idea how fast Shin Godzilla is in water. In fact, the only time we actually see him actually like roam through the water is when he returns back to land in the ending of Shin Godzilla, the first movie, and he's sticking out of the water, and he's actually coming quite slow, if you think of it. But in his second form, he actually does. You could see his blood, or it's not his blood. His what is it that poison or whatever that's coming out of him? It's coming at a pretty fast pace. So I guess when he gets bigger, he gets slower. But that could actually be a huge disadvantage for Shin Godzilla against the Kraken. Don't you guys agree with that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, now, what you said about the elements, yeah, definitely. I totally agree with, what is it called? With the elemental thing. We have no idea. So, since we don't know, and obviously I have a good idea of, even though the Kraken is meant to fight gods, that doesn't change the fact that he's immortal. So, I'm sure that he will be affected by nuclear radiation. And that's obviously going to be a huge factor into for Shin Godzilla, which he could obviously use against the Titan. But if we were to go against hands-on battle, I personally think that the Titan will take the cake. Or excuse me, the Kraken. The Kraken will take the cake. Because the Kraken is bigger, stronger, and definitely more quicker than Shin Godzilla. What do you guys think?
Wait, Mr. Google around, you want me to answer first?
Sure.
Alright, in my opinion, I believe that despite Shin Godzilla is going to win. Now, you might be surprised about that, but to be honest, from our other debates, you mentioned so many facts about Shin Godzilla, like how he could rebuild himself and whatnot like that. So I still think that Shin Godzilla might win this fight, despite there being a difference in height, strength. But as you always see in fighting stuff, height isn't always the matter or the result of the win.
Yeah, honestly, I would say that's true, but from what I've seen from the kaiju movies, height does actually matter. And the fight is, the thing is that we don't really know the full strength of Shin Godzilla, and saying if Shin Godzilla 2 does happen, if you guys didn't hear about the Toho scandal of canceling Shin Godzilla, which is probably the most stupidest thing they've ever done, if they actually do that. But saying Shin Godzilla, we see the full strength of Shin Godzilla, because in no instance does the Kraken need regeneration. Am I correct? The Kraken doesn't need to sleep. He fights until the fight's over.
Death.
To death, yeah.
He fights until death. He was trained never to stop, and although he might feel pain, that will actually just enrage him more if he does feel pain.
Now this is the reason why I'm saying Shin Godzilla might lose, is because Shin Godzilla has a stopping point, because since his body is made of nuclear fission or radiation, his body does actually overheat and he needs a cooldown, which I'm sure the Kraken is not going to stop when Shin Godzilla needs to cool down, which is the point where Shin Godzilla will get taken down by the Kraken. Now, saying he does go into his fifth form, hopefully we do find out what it is. We don't know. By the way, but you know, we also have to put a factor into this. He is the most biologically advanced organism on Earth. Now, the Kraken is on Earth, so Shin Godzilla is more advanced than the Kraken, biologically wise. So that's also a factor to put into as well. So Shin Godzilla might actually be much stronger than the Kraken. I mean, not stronger. Much smarter than the Kraken. Have more techniques. As actually, Pevamis said, size doesn't really matter. Which it actually, yes. I am contradicting myself, but yes, that could be a factor. Shin Godzilla might be much more clever than the Kraken and actually defeat him with cleverness. What do you guys think?
Yes. Yeah.
So
all in all, it all really depends. Also, one other thing, I'm actually looking at the size comparison. I actually got it wrong. It wasn't 3 Statue of Liberties, it was 2. The Kraken is actually 100 feet taller than 2014 Godzilla.
So that means that puts Shin Godzilla with the height win again.
Yeah, but again, the Kraken does have speed on him.
And the tentacles. Don't forget about the tentacles.
Here's the thing. Now, this is going off of personal opinion. For all we know, the Kraken could just destroy Shin Godzilla. We don't know, you know? But like I said, guys, this is just going off of our opinion. So if you guys have some of your own opinions, don't hate on this video. In fact, just comment down, give us your opinion, and hey, we might change our minds.
Yeah, so just... Yeah, it's a hard debate, because the way every way you think of it, it's, you know, Shin Godzilla has the biological way of pro, but and then the Kraken has speed. The Kraken doesn't have to regenerate for strength. So, and then Shin Godzilla has the radiation. So somewhat, it does come out to a pretty equal battle. But well, let's do an inner poll within ourselves. We'll go ahead and start with Deagle Rants. So, who do you think would win, on your personal opinion? Shin Godzilla or the Kraken?
Now, I'm gonna have to go with Shin Godzilla, but I do still see the Kraken at least giving Shin Godzilla a tough fight because, alright, I already said this before. The Kraken was basically trained to fight against Titans and gods. He basically knows how to fight against monsters and such, savage or not. Shin Godzilla, all we know, he has incredible defense, incredible biological factors, and his atomic breath. Now that could ultimately go against the Kraken, but again, the Kraken does know how to put up a fight, and he did put up a very amazing fight in the movie.
Alright, Payvamis, so what do you think?
Honestly, I do believe that Shin Godzilla might win this fight. Just because of every time we always have these debates, all I keep on remembering is how Shin Godzilla is still in one of its earlier stages, and also if they really wanted to, it could create little minions of Kraken. So, hey, you never know. But as far as right now, I'm leaning towards the Shin Godzilla side, but maybe later on, it might change to the Kraken. Who knows?
And also, while you guys are talking, I actually remembered another fact that we forgot to mention about the Kraken is this actually supports my theory when I said Shin Godzilla could actually be smarter than the Kraken. The Kraken is actually pretty dumb if you think of it. He was stupid enough to stare into Medusa's eyes in the movie. So that's also a factor. Just like to support my as they say, thesis. But yeah, again, it's an interesting fight, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna have to go with the Kraken with this one, but we never know. So, but 2 out of 1, the winner of this debate is Shin Godzilla, going undefeated yet again. For the next one, we'll go ahead and leave it a poll. Hope you guys like this video. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And as always, Mr. Payvamis, go ahead and do the honors. That's right. Alright, see you guys.